Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in for a quick chat. Now, listen, I've been seeing a lot of videos lately just popping up on, the Discover page and just a lot of different commentary, from women and men about women cheating. I saw a black woman talking about it. I saw a white woman talking about it. And, black guys talking about it, white guys talking about it, who cheats more. And it's kind of interesting that it's even a conversation now my experience comes from being a womanizer, being a person who would cheat with several women and who would mess around with several women. And so where I developed this is my mindset, and this is where you got to go and really look at this, because a lot of times we're looking at numbers. Numbers say this percent of men cheat. Numbers say this percent of women cheat. For one, nobody telling the truth on a survey. Nobody telling the truth, because you don't know if that survey coming from your partner. You don't know if that survey is a trick. Nobody telling the truth on a survey about if they cheat. So for one, you can't believe statistics you read online. You're gonna have to go to and look at, hold on, there's something flying in my face. You're gonna have to go and look in your life. You're gonna have to do your own statistics. You're gonna have to look at all the women you know, all the men you know. And then you got to look at the situation. So me being a man, when I was a dog, when I was a cheater, I would cheat for no reason of the woman. For no fault. It was no fault of the woman that I was dating. It wasn't like, oh, she's mean to me, she treats me bad, oh, she dogs me out, she curses me out, so let me go cheat. It was never that. And any guy that I knew who cheated, it wasn't because, oh, I'm so miserable in my relationship. And so that's just real life, real data. Now, yes, you may know a man who he's being cursed out, so he started cheating on his woman, but that's not the norm. And so this is the thing, when we thinking about this stuff, you can't just be listening to stuff online and then just believing it and internalizing it and going through your life, because it's really just a work of the devil, because it's breaking down relationships. And so men walking around believing that women cheat as much as men. And that narrative is dangerous, because if a man believes that, then a man gonna cheat just to have something in the bag. I had a guy tell me, he said, well, man, I said, well, why you mess around? Was she doing you wrong? Like, he was like, man, I can't even explain it. He was like, and this a grown man, nearing 30. And he had a lot of money. He made good money. And he said, man, I just can't even explain it. He was like, I just did it. How many times have I said that as a man? How many times have men said, I can't even explain it, I just did it? And then I was like, well, why did you do it? He was like, well, I just was figuring like she might be cheating. So I'm like, well, if she cheating, I don't want to sit here and be faithful if she cheating. I'm like, what made you think she would cheat? Like, is she that type of person? Like, did you pick that type of woman? And he was like, no, she's a great girl. Like, I don't think she'll cheat. I don't really think she was cheating. I just did it. And so that's why that narrative is dangerous when you say, oh, women cheat more than men, or just as much as men, but just women do it better. That's something that somebody said, who had a voice, who had an audience, and then people gonna take and run with it. But when you on the ground, when you in the trenches, you realize that's not true. That's not true. It ain't, because when you get on this side to where you reading emails from women about the level of loyalty they have to a no good, sorry man, that's when you realize that ain't true. I ain't never read no email. I ain't never had no man tell me he done been cheated on 3 times, 5 times, 10 times by his woman, and he's still there. He done been beat on, cursed out, and he's still there. It's like women loyal to men on a whole nother level. And that's something that you got to be careful, and you got to look at the spiritual implications when these narratives being spread and what it's actually doing to relationships, because the goal of it is to break relationships down. And it's just the devil speaking through people, speaking through idiots. To break the relationships down, to break down the trust in a relationship so that you can't build something strong and faithful, because the man is believing that women cheat just as much as men. And the woman may internalize that, and the woman might not even be a cheater. And now some women will become cheaters because they're being told that women cheat just as much as men. It's like, well, what's wrong with me? And then, why am I being faithful if this man absolutely 100% cheating on me? So let me do a little something. It's going to be some women that's led astray that way. And we can't say, well, oh, if that'll make you cheat, then you just a cheater. Some people, you got to be raised. Some people just were not taught any better. I remember the one time out of the 100+ women that I dealt with, the one time that I caught a woman cheating. And it was a white woman that I was dating in college. And so that was different, because I'm in West Virginia. It's 1% black in that state at that time. This was 2002, 2003, something like that. So years ago. I remember she telling me, now she was staring at me in the library. That's how it happened. She was staring at me at the library. She kept, looking at me. Then she got my IM name, or I got hers, and we were messaging back and forth. And then I might have said, hey, you want to leave the library? And left the library, went to the dorm room, and did what grown folks do. Now, see, this is the thing where I try to tell y'all, you gotta look at who you talking about. So, where's a woman's head at if she will see a guy in the library and sleep with that guy the same night? Never met the guy, never seen him. Where's a man head at? We both is trash. We both is nasty. So if you're asleep with somebody on the first day you seen them, you're nasty. And I was nasty. And so when I'm reporting live, it's coming from the trenches. It's coming from actually being out here living life, doing it. And human nature don't change. The same thing that was going on in 2003 is going on in 2021, and was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible days. Ain't nothing new under the sun. The same stuff is happening. People talking about, oh, well, Tony, you ain't been single on the dating scene in over a decade. Ain't nothing changed. It's human nature. It's humans doing what humans do. The same thing been happening since Sodom and Gomorrah, since the Bible days. So now listen, this young lady, we started dealing together, and it just one thing led to another. She was not my type. I did not like her, did not care for her. So while I was dating her, quote unquote, I still was messing with other women. In that period that I was talking to her for about a year, I messed with 8 other women. I remember the number exactly because that's how I equated, that's what I equated to my manhood. And that is what every man that I knew thought manhood was. The more women you could get, you could sleep with, the more of a man you are. Now, as a grown man, I realized how stupid that sounds. I realized how nasty it is. I realized how dangerous it is. And that's why I'm so committed to doing the work that I'm doing, because God graced me to make it out without HIV and all of this here. So God graced me, and that's why I work the way I work, because living the way I was living, I should have been dead. Could have got stabbed by a woman, could have got shot by a man, could have caught a life-altering disease. But God graced me to come out on this side, and that's why I'm dedicated to the work that I do. So again, you got to understand too, when somebody talking about something love and relationships related, which love and relationships is the foundation of the world, you got to analyze the root. Why is this person talking? Why is this person running their mouth, and what's their agenda? You see what I'm saying? I'm doing this for the good of the kingdom, for the good of the world. This ain't about making money. This ain't about being famous. This ain't about none of that. It's about we need to have a firm foundation of love and healthy relationships so that we can change our lineage, so that we could break generational curses, so that we could become stronger as a people, as a nation, as a world. So in order to do that, the foundation of the man and woman in a relationship has to be solid. And if you being infiltrated, if it's being infiltrated with all of these ignorant messages that are not true in the grand scheme of things, then it's just messing with the mind. And now the relationship becomes a war zone. It becomes a battle instead of a place of love and building. So now listen to what I'm telling you. This woman here, I remember one day we was coming from football practice. I played football in college. We coming from football practice, and I had a teammate from PG County, Prince George County, Maryland. And he to me was what I would consider a lame. You know, like I was a ladies' man and I was that guy coming out of high school, you know, #1 in the county. And at the school, you know, I dressed fly. My parents always kept me fly. I dressed fly, matching outfits with shoes, you know. I had coaches ask me stuff like, Tony, are you an athlete or a ladies' man? Tony, are you an athlete or a model? Because I was clean. I would be fly, you know, head to toe. But this guy here, I kind of consider him as what we call a lame, like a guy who, you know, he kind of walked like a duck. You know, he just was built funny. He walked funny, and he wasn't really a ladies' man. He wasn't the type to get, you know, women. And so my type back then, I'm not that same type of guy now in the sense of, you know, arrogant and condescending and what have you, and treating people, you know, wrong, standoffish. I mean, I was cool with them, but you just know when you young and you dumb like that, you just know. You know who got it and who get it and who don't. And it just kind of separates you. And so this guy, he kind of had like a little vendetta. Never did nothing to the man, never said nothing to the man, you know, none of that. But he just saying, I was the type of guy that his girlfriend would like. And that was true. You know, his girlfriend in college actually liked me before he got with her. But I didn't really see her as, you know, my type. And so you can imagine a man's mindset. So he was looking for anything to bust my bubble. And so he just kept saying, hey, if your girl ain't cheated on you, I will climb to the top of that chapel and get up there on the steeple, up there, pull my pants down, and let a man poke me in the booty. When he said that, I said, okay, I gotta look into this. Cause ain't no way a man finna say what he just said if he don't know something. And I went back to the young lady I was dealing with, and it was first 48. Interrogation room. Do you hear me? And then sure enough, just like in interrogation room, with every passing hour, another confession come. Well, yeah, I slept with such and such. I know the truth. You're gonna get one last chance to tell me the truth. If you don't tell me the truth, I know the whole truth. I ain't know nothing. I'm leaving you. I'm never talking to you again. Well, yeah, I also slept with such and such. And yeah, I also slept with such and such. And yeah, I also slept with such and such. This interrogation, it went on for hours. It went on. We was in there talking about this for hours. You hear me? So it came out. One of my teammates that I had betted, I was like, man, I bet you can't sleep with her. Because I'm thinking that I'm just that guy and I just got her. But I forgot that walk like a duck, quack like a duck, look like a duck, you're a duck. I forgot that she dealt with me on the very first day that she ever didn't even know me. You see what I'm saying? And so I forgot the caliber of woman that she was, the type of person she was. And so had slept with this teammate. He invited another teammate. Then had messed with this teammate. Then had messed with a basketball player. So it was like four different guys. And then there was another guy that she just would not admit to just because he was just kind of sloppy and just kind of seen as gross. She wouldn't admit to him for nothing, but people were saying that, So come to find out, for me, I didn't really like the woman. It was ego shattering that my teammates had did this, but I had also put one of them up to it, so they wanted to knock me off my high horse. But I remembered the type of person that she was. So when I talked to her, I said, well, what made you do that? And what she said was, which can all be seen as excuses, but it happened with me. And so what she said was, well, where I'm from, I've only seen 2 black guys in my life. She was like, I'm from such and such, West Virginia. I've only seen 2 black guys in my life. All the dudes that she had dealt with was black. She was like, so when these guys came on to me, for one, you was in the room messing with this person that night. So each time that you would go out and you would brag to your boys, your teammates, you finna go deal with such and such, one of them would hit me up. And she was like, I never wanted to do it, but I wanted to do it out of revenge. And when I talked to my roommate said to me, if men could do it, women could do it too. And she was like, so that's why I just did it. But she was like, that was over a year ago. That was before we was even serious. That was before anything was real. That was before I really liked you. You really liked me. She was like, that was so long ago. It was old news. And so I was like, well, okay, all right. I still broke up with her. Of course I'm not finna be with her. And it was just, that's why I tell women today, I say, listen, don't stay with a man who gonna cheat on you and do you wrong and then expect him to extend that same grace to you, because men don't do that. So women shouldn't be doing that either. Like, don't play the fool for a man thinking he gonna play the fool for you when your dirt come out and what you done did, that he gonna be all forgiving. Now, it's men that do it, but a lot of times the women that I talk to who have cheated on the man and the man stayed with them, he tortured them through the process. He getting revenge, slow revenge over time, and he really stayed with them just to get his slow revenge. And so here's the thing. You have to really get to the root of what people talking about. And from what I would see is, when I was out there and I pretty much was dealing with so many different women, it was so many times that I would approach a woman and she would say, I got a boyfriend. It was so many times that a woman wouldn't pay me no attention because she had a boyfriend. It was so many times that women would turn me down because they had a boyfriend. It was so, but when I really looked inside of it now, when I really got into it, and let's say it was a woman who would cheat, it was, when you really get into the reasoning behind it, it was the dude put hands on her. The dude cheat on her. So it was, so like, even when I got cheated on, it wasn't like I was innocent. I had dealt with 8 different women, and she knew all these women because the college was small. So it was like payback. So I still can't say that I just was this amazing guy and the woman just took and crushed my heart and cheated on me. But how many times do you see a relationship where a woman has done everything right? She's been an amazing partner to the guy. I know because I done been that guy. And the dude just cheat just to cheat. He cheat because he want to cheat. He cheat because he wants some variety. He cheat because he want a different complexion, a different body type, a different look, a different eye color, a different car she drive, a different school she go to, a different height, a different weight, a different smile, a different laugh, a different voice. As men, we'll just cheat because this woman body like this woman drive this kind of car, this woman go to this school, this woman used to date this guy, this woman will find any one little thing. And that's why I heard one woman saying that when women cheat is way worse, because and this was a woman saying this. She was saying a woman don't just go cheat just to cheat. Don't just go sleep with a man just to sleep with a man. A woman got to build with that man, talk to that man, for a few months, kind of have a relationship. Whereas when guys go cheat, it's just transactional. So she was saying it's worse when a woman cheat than when a man cheat, because when a man cheat, it don't mean nothing. But that also speaks to what she didn't realize, what she was explaining. She was saying that a woman is not as loose and as a man, because if she was explaining that women got to build with a man a little bit before she sleep with him, then, and she talking about an average normal woman. She not talking about a woman who work in the sex industry. She not talking about a woman who sell her body for a living. She's not talking about that. She talking about an everyday woman. So that in itself, she was saying men will just go sleep with whatever for no reason, out on a whim, out the blue. But a woman take time and build with this man for 3-4 months, is what she said. And so that right there says it in itself that men cheat more than women. Because if a man to go just be transactional with a woman, then if a man just go be transactional with a woman, then how many women can a man sleep with in a month? But if this woman gonna take 3-4 months before she sleep with this dude behind her boyfriend back, then how long do that take? And then as a man, when you really look into the situation and you look into this woman, this ain't a woman that you would, that's doing this cheating. This ain't somebody that you look at like a role model. This ain't somebody that you want your daughter to look up to. This ain't, a lot of times it's a woman who, she's been broken. She's been abandoned. She's been misled. She didn't have a good father, or she didn't have a good upbringing. But now when you look at men who cheat, a lot of time this might be a president, a pastor, a police officer, like a upstanding citizen, people, a man who the world look up to, who people look up to, who people admire. I come from a 2-parent household with a great father and was an absolute dog. But it's like when you evaluate women, how many women do you see who had an amazing father and she just an absolute dog? Yes, everybody know one woman. You might know two, but we talking about the norm. And so this what I'm saying is like we gotta stop just kind of creating these myths on a whim, because what it's doing is we put men in the driver's seat. We call men are the head of the household. We call men the leaders. And we tell women to submit to men. And the Bible tells a woman to submit to her husband. But it also tells the man to love his wife as Christ loved the church. So if we take and we put men at the helm, the captain of the boat, but then we make men believe that his woman is going to cheat on him and that his woman cheats just as much as he desires to cheat, then he's never going to trust her. He's never going to build with her, and their relationship is going to be crap. And that's not even true, because I was the man that would try to holler at his woman and she wouldn't even give me the time of day. But now he dogging her out and he loving her with a long handled spoon, because he has been made to believe from Instagram and YouTube that women cheat just as much as men and that he gonna get cheated on. So he never drops his guard and becomes open and honest with his woman, because he's been made to believe that he can't trust a woman. And then when I was cheated on by other women, it was also, I looked at what I was doing, degrading, nasty, disrespectful, me cheating. It never was a case to where I treated a woman like a queen. I treated her amazing and then caught her cheating. And it never was the case of where this woman was raised right, she was taught right, and she respect herself, she love herself, and this woman is a cheater. It never was the case. And so when you really look at it, and even when you look at the women who's sharing these messages and saying this stuff, and you look at the men who's saying it, you got to go into their story. You got to hear, where does this come from? Where did this come from? Because if a woman build with a man 3-4 months to sleep with him, then what is her man doing that she even got time to be building with this other man? How she got time to be building? If I'm on top of my game with my woman, I'm with her every day. I'm beside her every day. I'm spending time with her. We going on a date every week. We spending time. She ain't got time to build with no other man. But if I'm out doing my thing, and I'm dogging her, I just treat her like a little puppy, like a little accessory. Then yeah, she got time to build with another man. You see what I'm saying? So you got to think about that. And so when I had to evaluate it, I had to say, well, listen, if I dealt with 100 different women and every last one of them I cheated on, then did I catch each one of them women cheating on me? Was they cheating on me? And when stuff happened, the way we even come up with this data and the way we even come up with these conversations is stuff hit the fan and people find out. So it's gonna be found out. And they said, oh, well, women could get away with it because men don't talk. Because men don't talk. Men rap about everything. Men, we tell everything. Men tell everything. If you ain't careful with a man will be done showed you his naked wife. Men talk about everything. I don't know where people get that from. Men in the locker room, we tell every little detail. Every little detail. It just, so that's another myth that, oh, men don't kiss and tell. Men will sleep with a woman, but he ain't gonna tell. No, he gonna tell other men, and other men gonna tell. That's how I found out, from a talking man. I didn't find out from no woman. I found out from a talking man that my woman hadn't done something. He ain't have to tell nobody. If men don't talk, but men talk just as much, if not more, than women. That's where we get the term rat from. We doggone see women going to do time for their man for not talking. Just seeing El Chapo girlfriend or wife accept that time for not talking. Men, we got the term rat and snitch from men talking. You see what I'm saying? Another myth. You really got to get in the trenches and look at the real data. You can't just be listening to what talking heads saying online if you don't have no personal experience. So if you're a woman, then and you a cheating woman, look at yourself. Like when I was a cheating man, I said, look, I was lost without a cause. I was a dog. I thought that made me somebody. I was looking for worth. That's why I was a cheating, no good man. So if you're a cheating woman, you got to look at that thing and say, well, did I have a good father? Did I have a good example? Was I touched as a child? Was I violated? Was I abandoned? Like what was I operating from? And then when you really evaluate that, then you get to see why you're a cheating woman. But you got to get to the root of it. You just can't go to talking about, oh, women cheat just as much as men just because you're a cheating woman. Because every woman ain't you. And if you went through all this and you look at your story and the women that you hung around, if they cheated on their man too, if they got the same story, then y'all birds of a feather. But that can't be no broad stroke across everyone, all womankind. But then as a man, when you look and you like, well, man, this pastor cheating, this police officer cheating, this UPS worker cheating, and you go down the list and you like, man, I don't know one man that won't cheat on his woman. When you go down the list, when I'm in the locker room with 95 other guys, and every single man in that locker room will cheat on their woman, except for 2 or 3, 5 or 6, what do the numbers say to me in this football locker room? You see what I'm saying? The real data. When I look at my basketball teams, if every last one of us will cheat on our woman, what, except for one, what do the numbers say to me? And then you'll see this one guy, he don't cheat on his woman, but come to find out, thing 2 inches. So it's insecurity that's keeping him faithful, because he like, man, this thing don't really do what it's supposed to do down there. So my woman, she love me, and I found somebody that accept me. And so then you start this, okay, this other guy, you know, mama's boy. Mama was indoctrinating him, really was in his head, and he loved his mama so much. She taught him how to be a good man, but she was active in his life, and she taught him, do not do this to women and she was a single mom because of what she went through. It made her overly expressive to her son. So I remember I had a homeboy in 9th grade. I was like, man, why you ain't getting you none? He said, man, my mama told me to keep my pants zipped. I say, so that's why you not sleeping with nobody? Because all the rest of us had lost our virginity in 9th grade. And he was like, yeah, my mama told me to keep my pants zipped. Keep my thing in my pants. I was like, wow. Now, by the 12th grade, he was smoking weed. He was sleeping around. He was selling drugs. He was doing everything. But at that 9th grade, he still was indoctrinated by his single mother. Well, she got remarried by his mom. But when he moved to his daddy's house, I remember when he moved to his daddy's house, he left Florida and he moved with his daddy because I guess his mama thought he needed to be around a man. But his daddy was a single bachelor. So we went up to the boy's house in like 11th grade or 12th grade. And his daddy let us put our money together and book a stripper. And for $75, this young lady came over to the house and did a nasty naked dance. And then let everybody, I don't know what the word would be, on her. Yeah, in high school while he was living with his daddy. And his daddy was rich. His daddy owned stuff, had money. But his daddy living his life doing his thing. When he was with his mama was in his head. This boy wasn't touching nothing because of what his mama told him. When he went to his daddy, this boy went buck wild. I stopped hanging with him because I'm like, man, bro, you turned out. But again, that's what Atlanta will do to you. He left small town in Florida, Arbondale, Florida, and went to Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta turned him out. And in trouble, I think eventually got arrested, probably went to jail, just all kind of stuff. And so real data. You see what I'm saying? And so when you look at this, now you start to understand. It is not true that women cheat as much as men. That's just not true. That's just not true. When you go and as men, we got to stop excusing our cheating because of that narrative. And as men, we got to stop cheating on a woman because we fear her cheating on us. It's like if you get cheated on, let it be you was an amazing man and you got cheated on. You take that on the chin. You evaluate the type of woman that you was with, and now you steer clear of a woman like that with them, that level of morals and values, because you see this the type of woman that do that. And then you get you a better woman that you see have morals and class and values and dignity, and you're gonna find a total different situation. And I talk to women in private, in one-on-one real conversation, and get to hear the real. I got a sister who always gonna keep it real with me. Anytime she would talk to another guy, when she was talking to other guys, when she would talk to multiple guys at one time, she said she told me it's because of what I see you doing. She said, I see how many women you juggle, and I know how men play the game because of you. So I'm not finna just be talking to no one man while he dealing with all these other people. I was like, well, listen, everybody not me. Every guy is not number 1 in the county in rushing and number 5 in scoring in basketball. Every guy not going to be able to do what I'm doing. And the guys you dealing with definitely not going to be able to do this here because they not me. They not in the newspaper every day. I say this right here make it easier for me to do what I'm doing because I'm in the newspaper every day for my sports. So, you can't think like that. Now, she wasn't sleeping with multiple guys. She just be talking to different guys on the phone. But she wasn't sleeping with multiple guys. And so I got to see that even then, she still would be sexually faithful. And when she really would go talk to somebody else, is her boyfriends was abusive. They was cheating on her. They were putting hands on her. And that's what would push her to somewhere else. But she still be kind of dealing with the guy because he won't let her go. But he dog her out, and so she interest is elsewhere. And 9 out of 10 times, when anybody really real about this situation, we do not just see women go cheat for fun. But 9 out of 10 times, when you look at men cheating and you say, why did you cheat? If you ask 10 women who cheated, Why did you cheat? You never really, one or two miss, I don't know. I just did. You ask 10 men, why did you cheat? 9 of them gonna say, I don't know. So 9 of the men gonna say, I don't know. 1 of the women gonna say, I don't know. When you ask 10 women who cheated, she gonna tell you the relationship was dead. But he just wouldn't let me go. And I just couldn't break away. But it was dead. He was doing him, I was doing me. We had no connection, and just another guy slipped in. And I met this guy at work. We started talking. He was everything that I thought I wanted, and just one thing led to another. When you ask a man, a lot of the time the man be like, man, one was good. Like, men writing me every day, I was stupid, I cheated on my girl, she don't deserve it, she the greatest. I could screenshot and show you 1,000 messages from men. I cheated on my girl, she don't deserve it, I'd do anything to get her back. This the real data. And this what I'm saying, y'all got to stop with these little false narratives just to push an agenda, because you're working for the devil, and all you're doing is just breaking down relationships. You're breaking down the trust in relationships. You're breaking down the ability to build on a firm foundation of trust and love, and you're doing the devil work. But when we really look at the numbers, as men, I'm a man. I had to take accountability for my life. So when you come into my life and you see how I'm living, and you see the blessings that God has given me, and you see the life that I'm living, and I just posted two of my old schools that I'm selling, and people wondering how I got old schools, because they know they play cards. I'm blessed on that level, but and legal money and doing it the right way. But I had to take accountability of myself. I had to look at myself and do inventory, where I need to grow as a man. And when I grew as a man, my life got on the right path, and I started getting blessed, and my life got better, because I had to look in the mirror and stop looking to blame a woman, stop looking to believe these false narratives, stop doing the devil work, and start doing the Lord work, and things change for the better. And that's what, as men, we have to accept responsibility. We can't keep worrying about what a woman doing and what they saying women do, and what this dog of a woman did, and what this no good woman did. Just like we can't call every man a man, you can't call every woman a woman. So just because this group of women right here cheat, we can't say that's a real woman, and we can't prescribe that to all women. Just like when men cheat, we don't prescribe that to all men. We say, okay, that's a grown boy, he's in the grown boy phase of his life. That's not all men. So just like if you're a good man, you don't want another man to broad stroke all men, then the same goes when you talking about women. And for me as a man, my thing is always looking in the mirror first as a man. I know women not perfect. I know it's women that cheat. I know it's women that's savages. I know it's women that's gold diggers. But I'm not no woman. I would never be a woman. And so I, as a man, got to take accountability and responsibility for my life. And I got to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and I'm living right. If I'm doing right and she cheat on me, she got to answer for that. But if I'm cheating and then she cheating, or if she cheating and then I cheat back, I got to answer for my actions before God. So I'm not worried about what she doing. I got to make sure I'm doing right. And if I'm doing right and I chose a woman with morals and values and standards, then guess what? If I have it in me to do right, then I have to trust and believe that she has it in her to do right. See what I'm saying? What's good for the goose, good for the gander. And that's what we got to understand. It is Tony Gas, and God bless you. We'll talk soon.